Super Mario Bros. Wonder seems like it's going to be an insane and wacky game, allowing us to do incredible things that we were never able to do in a 2D space. But with that said, there's still a lot of questions as to what exactly is going on with this new world, being the Flower Kingdom, and these new abilities, such as the Wonder Flower. But there's some other questions that we still don't have answered. For instance, we can go to the cover art of this game, and there's one thing that just seems very odd still for a lot of people. We know that we have the playable characters of Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, and Yellow Toad for some reason. It seems like there might be another playable character, or at least a different type of Toad, but it does beg a weird question as to what the heck is going on in this scene. If we look at the cover art, we can see a Goomba wearing a blue Toad hat sliding down a pipe with green eyes. Now, a lot of people are trying to figure out exactly what this means, so let's dive into it. So first off, we know the Wonder Flower is able to change things within this world. It's able to make things move around that obviously would not move, like the pipes, and it's also able to just make things just go wacky. For instance, give Mario new abilities, making him stretch super tall and skinny, and also turning him into a spiked ball. So clearly, this Wonder Flower is able to do things that are not possible within the Mushroom Kingdom. I talked for a while of the possibility of Mario making a 2D Super Mario Odyssey style of game, allowing the player to turn into an enemy and complete a 2D level based on that enemy. And I thought that'd have been a really cool concept, especially in 2D. Since they already did it in 3D, why not give it a try for the new Super Mario Bros. Game? And maybe this time around, instead of actually having the capture mechanic, this time they're using the Wonder Flower in order to get that effect. So perhaps instead of capturing enemies, the Wonder Flower will have different events such as transforming all the characters into certain enemies, which would be an incredible thing. The only thing we've seen the characters transform into outside of Elephant Mario is this spiked ball, because the Elephant Mario power-up is simply a power-up. This is actually a transformation for the character. And you can tell this is a Wonder Flower event because at the corners of the screen, you can see the stars in the different colors and the woozy feel that it's giving off. This shows that Mario had captured a Wonder Flower somewhere before this, and it's turned him into this spiked ball. Now, if we dissect this spiked ball Mario, it does look a lot like the captures from Super Mario Odyssey. I think the only real difference here is the fact that Mario has a giant nose sticking out of the spiked ball, which is something that he never really had on his capture abilities. But he's had his blue eyes, his mustache, and of course his hat sitting on top. So yes, this is definitely heavily Mario Odyssey inspired, and we don't know how all the other characters will look as a spiked ball, but yeah, to me it comes off as almost a capture-like device, allowing him to capture this spiked ball. Believe it or not, there actually were some captures that gave him the nose, like the fireball from Super Mario Odyssey, which did give him a big ol' nose. I think the most interesting part here is the fact that the hat is still on Mario's head, and it shows that you are playing as Mario. So when we go back to this Goomba, yeah, it's wearing a blue Toad hat. So maybe this is what Toad is going to look like if he goes through transformations, where his hat would sit on top of the spiked ball, but this time he transformed into a Goomba, so his hat sits on top of the Goomba. So if we're saying this is a Wonder event where all the characters potentially turn into Goombas, well, what does this mean? Why are we turning into Goombas? With Super Mario Odyssey, I was a little upset that they didn't use the Goomba capture ability in better ways. I mean, of course it's a Goomba, what else can a Goomba do? But for the most part, all you used them for was for stacking and standing on switches or reaching high ledges, which, yeah, it's alright, but maybe in a 2D space they could do a lot more with this. Maybe there's certain rooms where there's a whole bunch of Goombas walking in a line and you have to act like a Goomba yourself, and you have to like slowly follow them or something. Or maybe it's your job to stack Goombas again and maybe reach something in a 2D space, or I don't really know. There's not much you can do with a Goomba, so yeah, I'm a little confused on this myself. This does beg the question, are there going to be multiple other enemies that we turn into from these Wonder Flowers, or is it just a Goomba in this game? I think there could be a chance that we turn into various different enemies depending on the stage, and maybe we have to do something with them in order to complete the stage. I mean, we still have a lot of enemies that we never got to turn into within Super Mario Odyssey, not even like a Koopa Troopa, so I can see that being a possibility, and maybe this is a way for the Odyssey team to get some of their capture wishes that they never were able to get from a Super Mario Odyssey 2 or Mario Odyssey DLC. So maybe we get some of these enemies that we get to turn into that we never had a chance to with Super Mario Odyssey. Maybe this really isn't a transformation at all. all, but instead it's actually just like some type of mask very similar to Mario 3D World, where you're able to put on the Goomba mask and act like a Goomba, where all the other Goombas believe it's you, even though it's really not. Now, if we look closely, we can see that the eyes on this cover art aren't changed. They don't look like the eyes of a toad. It also doesn't look like a mask, as the body and the feet are that of a Goomba still. So it's all a Goomba. It's an entire Goomba, head to toe, except for the fact that it's wearing a blue toad hat. Now, something else that's very weird within this scene is right underneath him, underneath the pipe and underneath Peach, you can see a question block that's purple instead of yellow. Now, we actually have not seen anything like this within the trailer so far. Now, there's a very high chance that this purple block could just be where you can get some more purple coins, as we see that's a new currency within this game. We know Nintendo often likes to hide a second mechanic and reveal it within the second trailer to show off, oh, you can do this in this game as well. So it's really hard to say, but my bet is still the purple coins. I don't think it has any relation with this blue-hatted Goomba. This just tells me that this is probably a Wonder Flower transformation. Within this stage, you're able to turn into a Goomba. And maybe there's more stages in this game where you're able to turn into other Mario enemies as well, and I want to kind of talk about how those could work also. We've seen walking piranha plants. Maybe there's a possibility that we can walk around as one of those. I don't really know the benefit here, but maybe we can chew and bite things as we get close to them, or maybe even spit something out. We've seen these giant purple hippos, so maybe we can turn into them and roll around a stage really fast, kind of like the Chivarians in Super Mario Odyssey as we raced and bounced down the track. Maybe there's even a stage that turns us into the new roller skating Koopa Troopas that allows us to skate through a level really fast, or maybe there's a power-up that gives us actual skates to fly to the end. We've seen an underwater section, so maybe we can actually turn into a Cheep Cheep like we could in Super Mario Odyssey, or maybe even a blooper in this game. We've even seen some really cool brand new rocket style of bullet bills, so maybe there's a level just like Super Mario Odyssey where we get to go through it extremely quick as a bullet bill and fly through it horizontally, or maybe even up vertically or down vertically. There's a lot of potential for where this game could go, and clearly it just would never end. Being able to transform into objects and items and even enemies, clearly there's a lot jam-packed into this one 2D Mario game, which is something that a lot of people were hoping for a very long time. But let me know in the comments down below what you think this blue toad represents. Is this just a transformation due to the Wonder Flower, or is this a copy ability of some sorts or a new item? Let me know what you think down below, and stop what you're doing real quick, leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Super Mario Wonder and Nintendo in general. Lots of you watching this video right now are not yet subscribed, so stop what you're doing and just make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way and it helps out the channel a lot. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.